Welcome to Bayt al Asad. My name is Frank Perrin, and I want to take a moment on my half to introduce viewers to this channel. Bayt al Asad translates to House of the Lion, and our focus on this channel is to bring to light and educate on the arms, armor, potential fighting styles, tactics, and cultures of civilizations that existed in both ancient and medieval into Renaissance Middle East. We wanted to start in on this because there really honestly isn't a lot of information out there that is actually researched and accurate towards what's happening or what happened in both the ancient Middle East and the Islamic Middle East as well during the Middle Ages and the Renaissance, right? When we have a lot of YouTube channels that study the Middle Ages specifically, there is a lot of Eurocentrism, right? There's a lot of people who believe that the Middle Ages only existed in Europe, and that's just quite honestly not true. And there's a lot of nuance and misinformation about what was happening in this part of the world. So for a little bit of context of what we're looking at here in this video is essentially not really North Africa. We're going to try to separate North Africa from the rest of the Middle East in this point, even though there's a lot of cultural crossover. Right, HEMA, or the Historical African Martial Arts Association, is already going into that area of the world, and as much as we might want to check out some of that, we're going to leave a lot of that to them. So in this area that we're focusing on, we're talking more of the traditional idea of what you view as Middle East. So we're going to look at Turkey, or Anatolia, we're going to look at Arabia, we're going to look at Syria, we're going to look at Persia, otherwise known as today's Iran. We're going to go into India, maybe some parts of Central Asia, depending on the bleed over in there. I have a lot of interest in the life and times of Tamerlane, so we might touch on those areas. But generally speaking, it is the Middle East proper. A little bit more information about myself. So, again, my name is Frank Perrin, and I have a master's degree in public history from Central Connecticut State University, and I currently teach as an art history teacher at a high school in Rhode Island, and I spent about 10 years in museums doing a lot of hands-on and role-play kind of based activities with artifacts and things like that. So my background in this project is really looking at the material culture, analyzing it, and of course taking that and going into a lot of experimental archaeology, reenactment, and all kinds of things to just paint a better picture of the life and times of the warriors that lived in this region of the world. You may recognize me from some work on the Razmusfar channel, which is the historical Persian martial arts channel founded by Dr. Manusher Khorasani. So any of the fighting that you see me post on this has a lot of basis in Persian sources, but one of my areas that I'm interested in expanding upon and researching my own is into Mughal India. So one of my personal projects for this channel is to look at what was happening with the arms and armor of India at this point, and how all of the trade and geopolitical situations of the time influenced what was happening in Mughal India. So that's just a little quick backstory about what we plan on doing on this channel. And now I'm going to turn it over to Issa Martel so he can explain his vision for the channel, why he's here, and what he plans on doing. So we'll see you very soon. Thank you for joining us.
Welcome to Bayt al Asad. Like Frank said, my name is Issa Martel, and I pretty much agree with everything that he already mentioned in his half of the video there. Some things that I'd like to bring about to specifically mention is that our core not being just solely Persian based, and the concept of um, discussing and doing things that are in a broader Middle Eastern context with regards to swordsmanship, culture, and these types of things. I would personally, besides Persian, like to branch out towards Ottoman area of things. Clearly, if you've seen my armor, it's Ottoman, and I think it would be interesting to fight in a style that's reflective of the armor. Well, I do believe that pretty much in the region, Persian is the core fighting style, and kind of it just branches out from there. I would like to be able to incorporate very specific Ottoman techniques that are different than Persian techniques. Just with some background of myself, if you don't know, I had been studying Persian since 2014, like Frank, with Dr. Khorasani. And like he said, what we plan to do is kind of just like a continuation of that, using the work that he has done in translating and bringing in other things from the region in general. I also done and do, I guess, Buhurt style armor combat, duels with HMB, historical medieval battles. I also am not as much active, but I used to be heavily active with the Society for Creative Anachronism, SCA style fighting, which we really pushed, at least I did. I have a complete period set up for like a living history type of aspect. And these are things, like I said, and Frank said too, that I think would be fascinating to explore on this channel more. You can see the couple posts, if you're in our Facebook group, we did just put out some photos of us in period stuff. So that's kind of, I think, what I would like to see us do more of, and a direction that I would like to see us go in. Talk about more about maybe textiles and clothing and just aspects of culture. Obviously, we'll still do the fighting and the armored combat. That's what we enjoy doing most. Talking about armor, this type of things. And that's about it, yeah. A little bit about myself outside of doing this. I also take martial art classes currently, and I work with law enforcement as a transit police dispatcher and supervisor in our control center here in Minneapolis. So that's about it. Thanks a lot, and hopefully we'll see you around.